Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and tonight we're here with John Carl Pepe and the Pep Talk.
Hello, Hercules. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to your show.
Oh, so am I. So am I. Yeah, folks, it has been a couple months since we were last here with the Pep Talk. Took February off for birthday related reasons, and then you had some scheduling issues with March. We're going to catch up. We're going to make up that show down the road. But it is wonderful to be back. What a wonderful weekend. I think it's just a great, this whole week. I think whatever you celebrate, this is your week, right? So, I just want to wish happy Passover, happy Easter, happy Ramadan, and anything else that I'm missing. Anyone who's had birthdays this week, happy birthday. But yeah, it's really good to be back here with the Pep Talk. At the time of recording, it is Sunday, April 5th. 2026. And April, if you know this show, you know that April is a very special time for this show. And we have our very special recurring guest. We try to have him on every April and October. Unfortunately, we were not able to work that out for this past October. So it is extra special to have him back for this April edition of the Pep Talk. And why April and October? Well, that's because, folks, at the end of April and October, it's one of the greatest nostalgia, pop culture, horror, whatever you love type of convention expo that happens in the New Jersey area in Parsippany. It is the Chiller Theater Expo. And my guest tonight is the great entertainment impresario, the great one, I call him. I know people call Jack and Gleason the great one, but he's not using it presently, so I'm giving it to this man right here. Man who has the greatest job in the world and is just, you know what? Probably, as far as I know, the most well-liked person
Oh,
that I have ever come encounter. And everyone who knows you, who I know, you, sir, are definitely sainted in the pop culture world. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to have him back. The great one, Stuart Hersh.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming back. So,
It is a pleasure being here again.
yeah,
This is always fun talking to you, man.
nice. So let's kind of get into Chiller at the top of the show a little bit. We're gonna,
Mhm.
is this the 37th Chiller?
36th, I believe.
36th. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Because
so
last chiller they were going on about the 35th, the big 3-5.
yeah,
So this has got to be, yeah,
the 36th, and they mark
yeah.
that in every 6 months. It's not the 36th year. This is just the 36th Chiller convention.
No, this is the
The
36th
36th
year.
year. Okay,
Yeah,
36th year. Oh, wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
It
And
is.
so this is the 36th year. So
I've been doing
how
it for over 20.
over 20. I was gonna that good. We were right there. I was gonna about to ask
Yeah,
when did you start? So
yeah.
so what kind of brought you to Chiller in the first place? Because you had already begun managing and bringing folks to shows by that
No,
point. No, this was
no.
so Chiller was your groundbreaking.
Chiller was my groundbreaking. I contacted Chiller to see if my client at the time, who I was managing, Bobby Boris Pickett, who did Monster Mash,
Right.
could be a part of Chiller. And I spoke to Kevin, who runs Chiller, Kevin Clement, great guy. And Kevin's first words to me were, well, we have Zachary here, and Zachary's a big part of our show. So if he's willing to bury the hatchet with Zachary, and I was like, what hatchet? Like I was totally not aware of what Kevin was referring to, but what he was saying was um, when Monster Mash was recorded on Garpax Records, Gary Paxton, who was the producer, his label, it was only released locally. So the guys from I think Zachary was on Cameo Parkway, and I think um, they found this single out on the West Coast and said, wow, this would be great for Zach. So they rushed it out, had Zach record it, rushed it out, and called Zach's album Monster Mash. So it got out before Bobby's single got out nationally, national distribution. And hadn't Bobby's been that good, that would have been the end of the story right there.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say there was a rivalry. Bobby certainly didn't think there was any rivalry or
He,
resentment.
he would have mentioned it to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I said
that's
it
a
to Bobby, and Bobby was like, huh? And Kevin said, only if they'll perform Monster Mash together would I have him here. And I said to Bobby, I said, do you want to do it? He said, sure. Why? Yeah.
yeah.
And the rest is history. That particular first time together of those guys can be found on YouTube. And it was
Very
great.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of brought them together. It's funny because that story, it reminds me like the way distribution happened back then.
Mhm.
It's very weird. So like there's a very famous, there's the Stones song that was actually written by Lennon McCartney. That they I think Lennon McCartney kind of wrote it for the Rolling Stones, and it
Mhm.
was supposed to come out from them, but the Beatles needed like a B-side on something, so they actually wound up recording it anyway, and that actually came out first. But I think it's more known as a Stone song. I'm blanking on the title now, but
Want to be your man? Was
yep,
that
that's it. Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I want to be your man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that
Well, I
weird.
mean, look, I think the Stones, I mean, I'm a Beatles number one person, but I really think that the Stones, compared to Ringo, I mean, I love them both, but I think the Stones really killed that song. Really, really
Oh yeah, yeah.
put meat into it,
Yeah.
where
And that's again because I think that was the thing was like Lennon kind of wrote it and was like, here you guys go ahead have it and then but
yeah,
by
you can have that
circumstance
one, Ringo. Yeah.
wound up having released it just like a hair earlier. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
interesting how that stuff that works out. A famous one in movies is sort of like the famous Night of the Living Dead, where
Mhm.
you forget to secure the copyright or the distribution copyright, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden everybody, oh yeah, that movie was public domain the moment it came out because the one
no
producer
way.
forgot to actually submit the copyright on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's
Oh,
why you
that
could see that movie everywhere.
I did not know this. I
Yeah,
did not
yeah,
know
it's one of
this.
those weird things. Yeah, yeah. And then a whole nother thing too, where the
Mm.
the rights split. So like Romero got the of the Dead, right? So then
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. The other producer
No
got the
way. They
Living
split
Dead.
the
So
title up.
that's where
Oh,
you got like Return of the Living Dead and all, so
yeah,
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 so
yeah, yeah.
fascinating stuff.
Wow.
So the early days of that like copyright and distribution and licensing and releasing and stuff
Yep.
always fascinates me. The fact that now movies have we're going a little off track here. We're gonna get back on track, but like movies now
No,
have
no.
a set release date for the most part, right? Every movie hits pretty much every major market on the same day. Sometimes sure it'll hit like in Australia or Europe, a hair, whatever. Back in the 80s, like Superman 2, I was watching a thing about Superman 2. That from the time it was initially released to when it came to the US was 6 months.
Wow.
6 months. And can you imagine like but and you're like, well, wow, everybody must have known about the movie by the time it came out 6 months later in the US.
Was it heavily bootlegged?
No, but it was pre-internet, so it was just it just people didn't really leak the spoilers or anything. No
Whoa.
one had easy
Whoa.
access to a European newspaper to post the
Yeah.
review. So yeah, it's just that's sort of how it was back then. Movie releases were slow. I'm surprised you don't remember this. It was slow roll
No.
release. You know why? Pre-internet, you only knew about the movie when it came out locally, right?
But I'll tell you something Superman related. Boy, we're really off this, but we'll come back to this. It's nice to mix it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
When I was doing the thing where I got Jan and Dean back together, okay, so their manager, one of their managers out of New York City, he was working with this company that was doing like counting for movies, count the people at the openings to see how many come in. So he said to me, I was 18 at the time, he said, hey, you want to do a little side something? I said, what? He said, I'm going to send you to this theater up by where you live in Westchester that when Superman 1 comes out, I want you to just stand there and click and get us a count on it. So yeah, so I got to watch that movie. Oh man, I don't know how many times, because I would click them all to get in, and I go sit in a seat and watch the thing, and then just
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. That's probably one of my desert island movies. Can't get enough of it. I really love it. Yeah. There's just something about what Donner did with that, and the cinematography in that movie is just gorgeous, you know.
Oh, it was just, there was so much magic in that original movie. And Brando, and I mean, just, you know, I saw that movie back and forth, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was such a good feeling movie.
Yeah.
And then this last Superman that came out,
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it,
did you?
actually. Yeah. I liked
Did
the
you?
message. I liked the message of hope.
But Superman ain't supposed to look like some guy who's sitting at the end of a bar. He's supposed to be like one of these chiseled looking. I mean,
You're
that's
talking
what
about
they went with. The last Superman one.
The Henry Cat. So you're talking about the one that came out this last summer. You felt he was a little too doughy, a little too soft. Yeah, I don't know. I
and
thought
he had like a rugged nose, and it didn't look like Superman to me.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah, I thought he carried it well. Cavill did have a very odd resemblance to Christopher Reeve, the guy before, right? He had a very odd, but his movies were just so dark, just very heavy,
from George Reeve, Christopher Reeve, these were guys that looked like, they could, but then this guy was just, I think they were trying to make him look a little bit more, like every guy, like that kind of a bit. That's my own take on it. I thought the guy who played the I don't catch the names. You're like this comic book guy, so you know this stuff in and out. The guy who played the villain guy, the bald guy, or
Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult. He's a really good actor.
Great. Yeah. Oh my God. That movie really, he was the guy I was watching. Like he really was on his mark.
Yeah. Have you seen here we go. Have you seen the movie Renfield? It came out a couple of years ago.
No.
Okay. First and foremost, it's a Nicolas Cage movie, so you've been warned. But it is also starring Nicholas Hoult. He plays Renfield, and it is sort of like I found
Renfield,
it to be
like Dracula,
like in Dracula, in Dracula.
Okay.
So the beginning of the movie, they actually recreate the 1931 Todd Browning, Bela Lugosi, with Nick Cage, like doing Bella and stuff like that, right? And then it's more modern, and I would say to me, it was very much of a hybrid. It's gonna sound weird, but Love at First Bite with George Hamilton, okay?
Right.
You remember that Dracula trying to find love, right? And the John Wick movies. Because you're actually following Renfield, who is trying to find love.
Right. Yeah.
But Renfield, when he has an insect or whatever, he gets the blood, he gets vampire strong, he gets Dracula strong. So because we're in the age of John Wick, it's a lot of that kind of modern John Wick kind of violent fight scenes.
Right.
Good, but fun movie. I will say, fun movie.
I'll tell you, the other thing I got out of that Superman movie, that recent one, was I was totally blown away that the dog didn't exist.
Right.
The dog was completely AI.
Yeah, there was a dog model that would, for the stunts, the visual look of the dog was the director's rescue dog. Because that's why the dog is in the movie, because he had just adopted this dog, and the thing was a terror. It was like tearing up couches in his laptop.
I love the dog. I thought the dog stole the movie, but then to find out it wasn't even a real dog. I'm like, I was waiting for like the owner to bring it on the Tonight Show or something.
Right, like they do. He based it on his real dog. So the visual look is this guy's real dog, and the dog was a terror, tearing up all his stuff. And he goes, what would Superman be like, have to deal with this? And he's like, movie, And so, the entire thing was now CG. That's where we're at,
Wow.
But one of the good things, though, I think that they did do as part of their promotion, was to adopt with the adoption agency, the ASPCA, and the Humane Society. So because of that movie and using that dog and like the advertise everything, a lot of pet adoptions spiked due to that. So I
Oh,
thought that was really
wow.
cool. Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
maybe people were just creating their own dogs after that.
No, the spike in AI created dogs happen too. No, they encourage people to go out and adopt, or foster.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's very cool. I didn't know that. I just really
yeah.
laughed in that movie when the dog would just come. He would call him, and the dog would just come flying in and knock
It
him
was great.
over.
And that's the thing. So I saw that movie. The last thing we'll say, that we'll move back to Chiller. But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
one of the things I felt about that movie was that I would have loved to have seen Christopher Reeve in that movie
Oh yeah.
to deal with
Yeah.
the dog,
Right.
to deal with
Yes.
what that guy had to deal with. I
Oh yeah.
think that it was like the sequel that he deserved to get and never
Sure.
quite got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so
Yeah.
so
So here we are.
so here we are. So we're gonna, I want to kind of talk about Chiller a little bit, as far as what you got cooking for this year. Because first and foremost, the lineup overall is insane this April.
Is
It
it
is
fun? It's so
insane,
much fun.
and they keep adding names. And another big name just dropped not that long ago. And so I definitely encourage folks, go to chillertheater.com, ChillerTheatre.com, because the RE, because it
Yeah.
is classy after all. So,
Theater.
but the highlights are always, I think, who you bring, because you always
Aw,
are known
that's
for,
nice of you.
you're known for doing reunions. You're known for bringing some people to their first conventions experience.
Mhm.
Most famously, Tony Clifton. You have the honorific of first and last convention appearance for Tony Clifton, specifically at Chiller.
Wow.
All in
Yeah.
one. All in one.
Yes. I wished I
Um,
could have had him back. I wish, he just kept saying after that last one, oh, now I know how to do it better next time. And I was
yeah.
like, he did a great job.
Oh, he was
He did a great
fantastic.
job.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was so pleased with you having brought him there that he gave you the nose off of his face.
I know. I know. I love that. And did, I've been looking for that photo. Did I ever send you that photo of him
Which
of him pointing to the nose and I'm holding the nose? Of me
no,
and
no,
Bob.
you've
I
told me
don't know
about
where
that,
I'm
but
I'm
ah,
looking everywhere in my phone and I just hope it's not one of those, all your photos are deleted after so many years or days. I hope
oh,
I,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'm trying to
Oh,
trying to figure out who the hell I could have sent that to, but it was such a private photo,
yeah,
like,
yes.
you know, because honestly,
uh,
when I booked him in there, I was calling him Tony.
mhm.
We didn't cross that line with Tony Bob,
Nope.
until things were already in progress at the hotel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that when people who do that type of performance, when they do allow the mask to slip, and in what circumstances, because he was, when he was on that floor, when he was at that table, when he was performing
Oh
that
yeah.
night, I mean, that whole weekend,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
he was
That
Tony.
was best.
And then and
Yeah.
then for you to, because you were getting closer and closer, and had to,
Yeah.
handle him and work with him, and then it starts to kind of, that mask starts to slip a little bit, so it's very
And
interesting
then
when
his
that
his
does
guy
happen.
his guy said to me at the end of the weekend, he said, here, hang out here in the bar area. Bob wants to come down and see you. And I was
Yeah.
like,
And you're
oh,
like, Bob? I haven't seen Bob all
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And he was
um,
talking to me in like code, It was really funny. I told him my cousin was Sammy Petrello, and he said, well, there was this magician once who Sammy gave a break to back in Pittsburgh. And he was talking about himself, but talking about Bob, but he was Tony telling me this, and he couldn't
story.
mesh that story. Yeah.
That's
But
so
damn.
yeah,
Yeah,
committing to the bit, man. It's amazing. So
absolutely.
so and so a lot of, one of the big high profile ones you did was the Perfect Strangers reunion. You did
Yes.
the
Love
Zoom
Boat
children's
reunion.
reunion. Yeah, yep. And the Magic Garden reunion, one that resonated for me because I grew
Yes.
up with that, and
Oh, I just
speaking,
more recently the What's Happening reunion.
what's happening. Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
so we were talking earlier about committing to the bit. Someone you have is now billed as two people, right? But you actually have a person and their persona coming
Yes,
back.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I'm bringing back Robert Smigel, okay, who in the first time I brought him into Chiller, he was like, no, 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 just put Triumph, okay, and then all of these posts underneath it were like, oh, is Smigel going to be here, or is it just the Triumph? Like they're really going to do that? Yeah, it's just going to be this puppet, and
Remember
so
Elvis's jacket?
yeah, yeah, right. So I called back Robert and I said, you got to let us put it in there somewhere. He said, okay, put it down in the corner, in the bottom corner, with Robert Smigel, But now we've gotten to the point where he experienced enough people. I got him. He did a private signing once, and they had all of these pictures from his movie bits that he did, from Happy Gilmore and um, I'm blanking. Just a bunch,
Yeah.
So wait, what was the one before Happy Gilmore?
Was it the Billy Madison?
he
Was
and Billy
that?
Madison?
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember.
I
Yeah, I
wonder if
think so. Yeah. It's been so
okay,
long.
but there were so many, and then he did all the SNL stuff and the TV Funhouse stuff, and
Yep.
so he said, oh, and the dog in Little Nicky,
Right.
that was him, you know. So he said, let's do that. Let's get some pictures from that. And I said, okay, but so we're gonna acknowledge you now. Even though when he came in the first time, he was like ready to just do the dog in the pro pictures. And
Right.
and they were like, no, 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 we want you in that. He was like, really? You want me also in the thing? So humble, such a
Yeah.
sweet, humble guy. And so yeah, so now I made these two banners up, to put up on the website. And he was like, whoa, I didn't know you were going to give me my own banner like that. I was like, well, yeah, that's what we were talking about. So yeah, he's really, really busy, always busy, doing stuff with Adam Sandler constantly, and working on stuff. He has a podcast now.
Mhm.
And so, I we got it together so that he will be there Friday and he will be there Saturday.
Good.
Okay. So yeah.
And it's interesting, that yeah, there is a segment of people who are very much fans of Robert Smigel and know his
Yeah,
works, definitely TV Funhouse and those appearances.
right.
And then there's people who are fans of Triumph and have no idea,
Oh yeah.
And I
I
know that
know,
is
like,
and
and Triumph
that's
was just on Hollywood Squares. He's like a big thing on Hollywood Squares now, whenever they do that. It's
nice,
so funny. He
nice.
has his own box up in the top. I think he's in the old Wally Cox box.
Oh,
that was in the original show,
wow,
which
wow.
is weird. Wow, I'm just
That is
thinking of this. So Wally Cox did the voice of who?
you got me.
Okay, ready for this? So here's Triumph up in the left corner. Wally Cox box was there, and Wally Cox did the voice of Underdog.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
So that's the
That's so
dog spot, I guess, on
that's the
Hollywood
dog
Squares.
spot. Yeah, yeah. Well, it'd be
Yeah,
even
what?
funnier if Tony would had ever been on Hollywood Squares. He probably would have
Oh
been in that
gosh.
box because he's both a
Yeah.
dog and Triumph is like
Yeah.
Tony Clifton in dog form. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Yes.
That's funny. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't realize Hollywood Squares was back. I remember
Oh,
when I
really?
was
Oh,
yeah. I remember reruns of the old one growing up as a kid. And then when I was like in middle
right.
school, there was the John
Yeah.
Davidson reboot. I remember that one pretty well. Yeah.
Right. John Davidson was the worst guy as a contestant on as one of the stars on Hollywood Squares because he sounded like he was lying with every answer, whether it was true or not. He was always like, "No, seriously, back in the day, they had these," and you couldn't buy it. It was just, And sometimes it would turn out true, but most of the times you knew he was just wrong.
Which is funny because my introduction as a young kid to John Davidson was the show That's Incredible, where some of that stuff
Oh
was,
yeah.
BS and some of it was really incredible. But yeah, he always had that air
Right.
of, are you being honest with us?
Right, right. So yeah, so I got Robert Smigel coming in.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, the for those that don't know, so Chiller is a star-studded show. It's going to have like 90 celebrities there, all at tables with their photos on the table. You can bring items that you want to get signed. They'll take pictures with you there. Then they do professional pictures separately, and it's like a celebrity flea market. So you walk in there and there's everybody's got their booth, their space, their table, and you go up and you talk, and it's wonderful. Me being who I am, and having the joy of meeting celebrities over the years since I'm a kid, I love being on the other side of the table and watching the faces, the smiles, hearing the stories. Sometimes, like when I used to bring out Carol Spinney, who did Big Bird and Oscar,
Yeah.
they would cry. These people
Mm.
touched people especially the people that hosted children's shows.
Mhm.
They really, really, touched them. So yeah, so that's what Chiller's about, and it takes place in the Hilton in Parsippany, New Jersey. And you gave out the website. I guess we'll do that a little bit after.
Yeah. We'll do that again. We'll hit that again. But it is chillertheater.com if you want to look at this amazing guest list. And
Yeah.
it's going to be April 24th, 25th, and 26th in Parsippany, New
Yes.
Jersey. And it's so much fun. And that's a great way to describe it as a celebrity flea market. And also because it is a convention and, that type of an expo, there's also a flea market inside this celebrity flea market because there's a great
Yes. There's
dealer's
a
room.
whole memorabilia dealers. Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, you
It's
forgot
wonderful.
something. You forgot something that you wanted somebody to
Yeah.
sign, and you didn't like the
Yeah.
pictures that they had on the table. Go to the dealer's room and get something.
There you go.
Um,
Absolutely.
and do you bring in anybody else besides Robert and Try?
Yes. Yes. I am bringing out John Bauman, who is known as Bowser in Sha Na Na.
Very
And
cool.
he's a great, great, great guy. He was going around for all these years doing his Bowser rock and roll doo-wop parties, concerts. And one thing about John Bauman, Bowser, he did something that not many people are really aware of. When he would do his shows, if you did not have an original member in the band, you were not in his show.
Hmm.
Okay. Because
Cool.
back with the groups from the 50s and 60s, there would be groups out there, platters, coasters, drifters, that didn't contain the original members at all. But they
Hmm.
would call them, oh, here's the platters, here's the coasters. And the promoters would get them cheap. Meanwhile, the original guys who did the records and all the years of work, they're sitting at home doing nothing. So um, John Bauman went across the country into courts and passed a law called Truth in Music. So if you had a show that had the coasters, and there was an original coaster who was still alive, okay, that guy from the coasters could call up that venue and say, get him off the stage, and you can hire us.
Right
And
on.
that changed the face on all these things. To this day, there are so many oldies doo-wop shows that if you didn't do your homework, you're going to sit there, you're going to be entertained, you're going to hear the songs, but you're not seeing the guys who did it. You're not seeing the original guys that were in that studio, that were on those records.
Yeah.
And that's a big, big point.
Yeah. And that
So
happens.
he
I mean,
changed that.
yeah, no, that's great. I mean, and that was big in the doo-wop world. That was also big in the 60s pop world, I think 70s psychedelic rock world too. You have a lot of these sort of, like famously like the ELO, like again, we're talking about the Living Dead
Right.
franchise, right? ELO,
Yeah.
and if Jeff Lynne is heading the band, it's got to be called Jeff Lynne's ELO, So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
so
that's what happens with that is is when somebody's a leader of a band or a lead singer of a band and they leave the band, that's all done kind of legally. They have to make an agreement. Okay, so you're going to be Jeff Lynne of ELO or Jeff Lynne's ELO, but you can't go out and call yourself ELO and get all new guys.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
ELO then goes out and says, I think they actually went out as ELO, but
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell they got that. They got that end of the deal. But there were some other situations. Oh yeah, when Mark Lindsay, the lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders, left the group, he was allowed to go out as Mark Lindsay, former lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders. And Paul Revere and his new guys went out as Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Yeah. It's so wild.
So the more you knew, the more you got, the real deal.
Yeah. Now, Bowser, I remember, I think he was at one of the first chillers that I went to in like 2010 or 2009.
Was that the one where Mickey Rooney was? I brought Mickey Rooney across the room. I had Mickey Rooney and Barbara Feldon in the same.
It might have been, because I think it was before I actually knew you. I can't remember if it was
must have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that also the infamous Richard Dreyfuss Saturday Night Rant chiller?
Oh man.
Yeah,
they gave Richard Dreyfuss the mic and he just went on and on and on about the school systems of New York and this and that and everybody's 5 sheets to the wind in the audience and they're just looking at him like, play the rock and roll already.
They just want the rock and roll concert to begin, and he's talking about the upcoming National Do Nothing Day, where this insane idea where he's like, if you're serving burgers and fries, just stop for 5 minutes. If you're flying a plane, stop flying that plane for 5 minutes to send a message to the government that they need us. Stop flying a plane for 5 minutes, Richard. Wait a second. and then the more people would heckle him, he would heckle back. And he would, the constant refrain of Richard Dreyfuss saying, tamp it down into the microphone.
Like the teacher at a school auditorium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Single file, one head behind the other. No talking. Yes. Gosh.
So Bowser hadn't been to Chiller in a while, if I recall.
No, he has not been to Chiller in a while. The last time he was there, I had him with Neil Innes was there at the same time, and they shared a booth together. But yeah, Bowser will be. I'm going to have that big. If anybody's familiar with Chiller, I'm going to have that big middle section when you first walk in. It's where I had my reunions and stuff in that space. And I'm going to have all 3 of my guests in that area, in that one spot, which means you're going to have Triumph, right next to Bowser, which
that's going to be great.
There is kind of a connection between Bowser, bow, bow, bow,
bow, bow, bow, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah. Triumph. I'm sure there'll be a lot. I'm sure Bowser can't go the whole weekend without saying, "Hey, Triumph, you ain't nothing but a hound dog,"
Yeah. Hey, there you go. And then the third guest that I'm bringing in is Pamela Ferdin. Now,
America's sweetheart.
Yes, Pamela Ferdin. Everybody knows her face. Everybody knows her face, and everybody knows her work. But her name is not a household name necessarily. Right. But she was in everything. She was in like 200 TV shows in the 60s and 70s. She was in the Brady's. She was in Family Affair. You can go online and see pictures of her walking around with Mrs. Beasley, in Family Affair. She was the voice of Charlotte in Charlotte's Web. Yeah. Okay. She was the voice of Lucy in Charlie Brown. Okay. And she was Edna Unger, Felix Unger's daughter in The Odd Couple. Yep. She has so many cool credits. And me growing up around that same time period, she was in every toy commercial, from Barbies to everything. And that face was everywhere. She was on Jack Benny specials and all that. Just I wanted to bring her out to Chiller for the longest time because I thought here's a person that covers everything, you know?
She was in Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
Yes, she was in the
Yeah.
original Star Trek, and then in a short-lived series with Jonathan Harris. Oh, I'm blanking out on it. Ah, Space Astro. Oh boy, I'm coming off wrong here. I should have these things written down on a cue sheet. Um, but if anybody, if Hercules is listening and he can look that one up real quick.
Let me see what I can do. Yeah, so because I'm curious actually who she was in Star Trek too. I want to say she was Miri in the episode titled Miri. Um, so
Yeah. Mhm.
so one of the great things about who you are and what you do is that a lot of your clients, they become more than just business partners. They become friends, they become family. You mentioned
Yeah.
Bobby Boris Pickett. You were very, very
Yep.
close with him.
Absolutely. I managed him for 18 years. Yeah.
And it seems that your relationship now has grown. Your friend circle has grown with Robert because Robert
Yeah.
has you brought Robert to his first convention appearance, and he
Yeah.
had such a good time that he has done several now with you and really seems to enjoy it, and to the point where when you had a cancellation, he filled in at the
Yeah.
last minute. So what is that like, Stuart, to be such a genuine and honest and friendly guy, that people almost have no choice but to just to want to get close to you and be friends with you, especially your
Um,
clients.
I I'm very personable, so I love, talking to people, giving them information about the celebrities and the old shows and stuff like that. My fiance, Angela, I taught her all about a lot of these classic TV shows. She never heard of Dobie Gillis and all these old and loved them. She loved them. We were talking initially. She was in Indiana. I was in New York when we were first talking, and we hadn't met yet. But I was like, okay, so let's watch an episode of Dobie Gillis tonight. And she was like, okay. And we did it over the phone. We were both watching the episode, and that became like a regular thing with us, and then, obviously then she moved here. But yeah, so
Now,
it's
had
I love informing. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. So that's interesting that she didn't know Dobie Gillis. Had she seen Scooby Doo at all
Oh, she
prior
knew
to?
Scooby Doo.
So
I'll
did
tell you a
she?
funny story. I'll tell
Yeah.
you a funny story with Scooby Doo. So we met on a karaoke app called Smule, Smule, where
Okay.
where you can go on and you can sing half a song, and then the other person finds that song and they sing the other half, and you do it on camera and it comes up and you've got the lyrics in front of you, and it's so much fun. So I put up the she put up the Scooby Doo song just for me. And next thing I know, she sends me this Scooby Doo song, and she's singing it, and she's so animated, and she wore her Scooby Doo T-shirt, to do this song, and the line comes up, and it's like, "Come on, Scooby Doo, I see you pretending you've got a sliver." And she got the line, and she's smiling and dancing and singing, and she's going, pretending. She does this. She goes, pretending you've got silver. And to this day, I kid her about doing that.
That's really
I go,
funny.
no, it's sliver. It wasn't silver. It was sliver. She'll kill me for telling this story, but it was really fun. It was really fun.
So in watching Dobie Gillis, did she make that connection and be like, this guy is like, this is Shaggy, right? Like, and Dobie
Oh,
is
like
Fred.
Maynard?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of. No, I don't know if she ever put that together.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. You know what's funny? I never really
Oh yeah, no, I believe that
was
if
that talked about. Was that like a fact thing? Because
I
you know,
I
that's
I think Hanna and Barbera had copped to that as far as or whoever
I
did
could
create
so
Scooby-Doo.
totally get it now, but I was kind of like, oh, he's the beatnik, you know, but
Yeah,
then yeah, you're on the money. Absolutely.
I think those were the marching orders. I think they were like Toby Gillis, but with a dog and spooky crimes. Yeah, that's what I remember from one of the
That's
countless YouTube
awesome.
videos on history
Yeah.
of pop culture stuff that I've watched. But I think that was
Wow.
the mission. Yeah, mission accomplished.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pamela Ferdin, or Pamela and Ferdin, she was actually Mary in the Star Trek episode "And the Children Shall Lead,"
Yes.
and the show you were thinking. And God, she so much, man, so many credits here. The show you were thinking
Right.
of was Space Academy.
Yes.
Space
And
Academy,
Jonathan
19.
Harris from Lost in Space was in that. I
Yeah,
didn't even know until I started to do this stuff with her that existed. I had no idea that he went off and did another like an
yeah.
offshoot of Lost in Space.
1977. Yeah, she did a Beretta, Streets of San Francisco. She did a
Oh,
Shazam.
everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
amazing. A Tree Goes
She
in
was in
Brooklyn, the TV
yes.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, she was in the Beguiled with Clint Eastwood,
Right. Yep. Yep.
you know?
Amazing. Yeah. Good for
Oh,
her.
so many credits. And
Yeah.
yet she's the sweetest, nicest person. People are going to love when they meet her.
Oh, that's
Very,
great.
very, very kind, very nice.
That's good. So yeah, folks, again, it is the April 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Hilton in Parsippany, New Jersey, the Chiller Theater Expo. Again, not only John Bowser Bauman, not only Robert Smigel and Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, and again, they're Friday, Saturday only. They will not be there Sunday.
Well,
Not only is it
just Robert Smigel and Triumph. Bowser will be there all 3 days,
yeah,
and so will
exactly. Yeah,
Pamela.
Bowser and
Yeah,
Pamela
yeah,
will be there all 3 days, but just Robert and
yeah,
Triumph are
yeah.
Friday, Saturday only. And again, yeah, Pamela and Ferdin, again, America's sweetheart. We all kind of grew up with this girl. This is amazing that you were able
Absolutely.
to get her in there, and but also tons and tons of other guests. That it's
Oh my
if
gosh.
the way we talk, if we were to do, we wouldn't get through a third of this list because we would go off on tangents on how these great guests that are there.
But you know
So
what? You know what? Take 2 seconds and let's just throw out some really heavy names that are in this thing.
you want to?
You
All
know?
right. Well, so
Yeah,
you know me. I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan. Judd Hirsch.
absolutely. Judd
Judd
Hersh
Hirsch.
from Taxi. That may be his first convention. And I'm
Wow.
excited to meet him. I mean, there
Yeah.
are people coming in that I want to meet Diane Cannon, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and
Uh,
and and Sally Struthers is coming out,
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing
you know?
too. Again, there's some folks that have been before. Like it's always nice to see Robert Wuhl from Batman 1989 and
Sure,
Arliss.
sure.
Big
Classic.
sports fans. I got to talk to him about about my dad. My dad had done an episode of his like radio show a bunch of years ago.
Uh-huh.
If you like Godzilla, they got three of the guys that were in the suits in the
Yeah.
Godzilla movies. That's a good
Isn't
one.
that wild?
And
Jamie Farr.
Jamie Farr, speaking of person who dressed up famously
In
for
his
his
this will
career.
be his last convention appearance. He's in his 90s now. And
That's
God bless him.
amazing.
He's coming out
Yeah,
from California to do this.
that's amazing. And yeah, and
Yeah.
there was one that was just I don't know if they're going to be announced anymore over the next couple weeks,
You never
but
know.
if this is I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to give a big wide hint that if you don't get it, then I don't know what you're doing. But basically, if there was going to be a topper of a late announcement. In this case, there can
Uh,
be only one. That was terrible. That was
okay.
terrible.
I don't know where you're going with that one, but I don't
It was a Highlander
I
reference.
okay. Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. There you go. There you go.
I want people to go to the site and I want people to be like, "Oh, that was that terrible pun." All right.
Oh, stop. We're we're not, yeah, okay. Well, everybody, you could say fairly that there's somebody for everybody at Chiller.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There
It's
are
amazing.
favorites that have touched everybody in their lives. And yeah, I missed talking to you at the for the last one, the October one, but I had the What's Happening guys, Dwayne and Raj, and I also had the people from the New Zoo Review
Yep,
that were
yep.
wonderful, Doug and Emmy Joe, who they lined up and they just never stopped, the one after the other. And here's the New Zoo Review. I mean, Freddie the Frog in costume, was one of the highlights of that last show. They were lining up. I told Doug and Emmy Joe, I said, you guys are like the John and Paul here.
It's great. And let me just, I want to actually, because the hours are different each day, so I want to kind of get those two. This is my crack research staff of me. So this is the thing. So Chiller.
Hey, you found Pamela's credits. That was good. You put yourself right on that assignment. You excelled.
And I found a nice way to kind of fill that space until I found the answer too. So Chiller starts on Friday, April 21st to April 24th. The pre-show is April 24th. The pre-show is 5 p.m. General admission is from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. So what that means is that celebrity tables will be open till 11 p.m. The dealer's room will be open till 11 p.m. So it's a late night for a lot of these folks. So,
but it also means that you can buy the VIP hour, which gets you in at 5 instead of 6. Yeah.
Yep. And that VIP hour is for all 3 days. So Saturday, your pre-show is 9 a.m. for the VIP hour.
9 in the morning. Yeah, we're ending at 11. We're going to be at the tables at 9. Oh, that's a fun. Yeah, that's really fun.
If you are there Friday night and you think your favorite celebrity might need a little drink, ask them first, but don't just go out of your way and get it. But it would be nice to help them through that night. And then of course a cup of coffee.
Saturday morning, bring them coffee.
Saturday morning, bring a jug of coffee. Yeah, because your general mission.
Yes,
your general admission is 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now
that's general admission. Yes.
Yep. And your pre-show from 9 to 10, your VIP. Now, doesn't mean that the party ends at 7 p.m. on Saturday, April 25th.
Right.
Because there is the after party in the hotel. A lot of great rock bands. Kevin Clement, we talked to earlier, and we love Kevin. What he does by putting this together, it's such a gift to the nostalgia pop culture community. There's no doubt about it. There is none.
He grabs these great people, and he gets them up on that stage to do the rock stuff. And it's so cool. I mean, you've got, I think Sherry Curry is in this. I think, oh God, the guy, the people that are bringing in some of these other people, and I'm blanking out on some of the key things about
because there's so much. How could you remember it?
But there is an original member of Herman's Hermits coming in.
Yes.
And so I can almost guarantee he's going to get up on Saturday night and do some of those classics. Yeah.
And really all Kevin asks is, and it's not a big ask, is that you just stick around and watch his band, the Dead Elvi, perform. And you know what? They're fantastic. And he's a great guitar player. And it is always a joy to enjoy their music and to see Kevin up there, doing his thing, doing what he loves, almost as much as putting on Chiller, right? And
this is why I think I've told you, I call it Camp Chiller.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like coming back to camp.
Yeah, and again, it is in a hotel, so a lot of people get rooms for the whole weekend, and they make a camping a weekend out of it. And then Sunday, just so you know, Sunday for those who plan on going, your VIP hour is at 10 a.m. Your general admission is 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. because because that's the, you're till 11 p.m. on Friday. You're rock and rolling probably till dawn on Saturday to
And then they all hang
Sunday.
out in the bar afterwards. And God bless those people that are at the table at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, because you
Yes.
know what? They know they only got to be there till 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
But
exactly.
that's the thing. If you're planning on heading out on Sunday, remember that it does end at 4 p.m.
But
So
they love, they love their fans. These people love, I know my guys always, they're always touched by meeting their fans.
mhm.
And the great thing about these conventions is that it's not somebody trapping a celebrity in a bathroom going, "Hey, could I have your," it's like it's knowing you can go to that website, you can go to chillertheater.com, and you can look at all the celebrities, and they will be there, and they will be there at those hours, and you can buy their autographs and talk to them. And so it's organized, and that's why I love it. It's not exploitive, it's organized.
Mhm.
That's what's great about.
No, absolutely. That is absolutely what is great about Chiller. Um, I think we lost you for a second there. Hopefully, we'll get you back, Stuart. But I do want to say that I do plan on coming back to Chiller. It's been a while since I've been there, but I do plan on going on Friday night. I'm going to squeeze it in. I think I've mentioned before at the Joker's Child, the next weekend is Saturday, May 2nd. It is free comic book day, so we're always busy preparing that weekend before. But I am going to make some time to go out and not only not only get to see some of these guests that are on tap for Chiller, but also Stuart to see you because it has been far too long since you and I have seen each other in person.
Can
And
you hear me?
I can hear you now. We lost your video, but I can hear you.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I don't know if
Okay.
you
I
heard
was
me.
getting a call. A call was coming in, so that's why it kind of threw me. Ah, this phone stuff, I tell you.
I tell you, man, too. Like I told you before, in our pre-show conversation, my phone is going on 10 years. It barely goes to the internet now, but I don't ever want to give up on it. It still does what it needs to do as far as being a
Yeah.
phone. So, um, so yeah, I don't know if you ever heard, but yeah, Stuart, I'm gonna try and come out there on Friday night. So
Oh,
I really
wow.
look
That's
forward to seeing
great.
you
It'll
again.
be great
Yeah.
to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna make that plans. We're gonna squeeze it in. It'll be tight because we have our big free comic book day event the next weekend. So we're usually scrambling to prepare for that. But since Chiller goes till 11 p.m., since it goes till late on Friday, I'm gonna make a point. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna come and see you because it's been too long since I've seen you, my friend. And unfortunately, we are gonna have to start wrapping up.
Right. Okay.
Okay, got you back. Cool.
Yes.
Uh, we did want
Thank
to
you
talk.
so much.
Oh, thank you. Oh, as always, thank you for being you. Thank you for giving me your time, because it's
Absolutely.
always makes for a great show. Love having you on. And even,
You're so
when we can.
knowledgeable, man. You just make the whole thing flow.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And hopefully we can get you another roundtable that like you had last year that with the Andy Kaufman one. Hopefully we can
That'll
get
be
you on
fun.
another one of those for something that might pique your interest, right? Now I
Sure.
know we did want to talk about a great loss to the
Oh
New
gosh.
Jersey pop culture community. We're probably gonna have to table that for October, or maybe we'll
Yeah.
do a special episode before then. Um,
Anytime, man. Anytime you
yeah,
want to do that, you let me know and we'll do that. It doesn't have to wait till October.
perfect,
You
perfect. Yeah.
you tell me, okay?
I
Because
might want to. I
that
might
was a
want to.
dear friend.
Yeah, I might want to get a few people. Folks, we're talking about the late great Uncle Floyd Vivino, who was such an icon for the New York,
Wonderful,
New
wonderful
Jersey
man.
area.
Yeah,
Just an amazing man, a man who never stopped doing what he loved doing. Such an amazing
truly.
performer,
Yeah.
comedian,
Yes.
singer, piano player. It's funny. It was like he was still doing vaudeville, as somebody who wasn't
Absolutely.
even around when vaudeville
And
was
he
a
had
thing.
that mindset where he lived for show business.
Yeah, yeah,
And God bless him. I miss him. I miss
yeah.
him.
And you know
Yeah.
what? you know, I mean, yes, he definitely gained cult status, and I think he was very happy with that level of notoriety that he had,
Yeah.
especially in this area in the last 2 minutes. But you remember he had that shot when they gave him that spot after SNL in like 1980, 1981,
Oh, yeah, on
and it was
NBC.
on
Yeah.
NBC, and it was like this like right on the verge. And honestly, I think he was better for it because I think if it got too big, we probably wouldn't be talking about the legacy, because again, he never stopped. He kept, every weekend you would find him at a restaurant singing and telling jokes and playing the
I booked
piano.
him. I
You
booked
booked
him out to
him.
places. Yeah, he was a
Yeah,
great stand-up. I was booking him since the 80s.
it's
Wonderful,
amazing.
wonderful guy.
Yeah. So we're gonna devote a lot more time to talking about him in the near future. Stuart,
Cool.
thank you again so much. All my
Thank
love
you,
to
man. I
you and your
appreciate it.
fiance. And
Thank you, John.
just know that, I think about you a lot, not just every April and October, but you were just
Thank
one of the
you.
best. You truly are the great one. Folks, that brings this episode of the Pep Talk to a wrap. I hope you had a wonderful weekend celebrating whatever it is that you celebrate, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch Stuart and I just chat and reminisce and just have a lot of fun. And that's what it's about, folks. I know things are a lot of weird, really weird, and a lot of divisiveness going on. And you know what? Let's all just find the common ground. We all have
Yeah.
common ground. We all have things we love. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on
Yeah.
peace. Let's focus on love. And let's just focus on being the best that we could be, not just to ourselves, but to others. Ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen,
100%.
thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Pep Talk. Hercules, take us out.
Okay, thank you both for an awesome show and what he said.